2026 Toyota Crown Signia. This is for the discerning Toyota customer that doesn't want a Lexus and they don't want a Toyota. That's why it exists. It's designed to split the difference. And at $45,000 to start, it's pretty expensive for what you get. Fully loaded, it's about $54,000. Now, the main talking points are, is this really worth it? And what is it trying to achieve? And of course, why is it always beeping? Which I'll talk about later. So, on the outside, this is the wagon form factor, or CUV form factor. It's designed to be a smaller footprint vehicle, classic Toyota styling from the side, modernism in the front, and then complete usability in the back. With the seats down, it is great. However, they did not include a spare tire. The back seat is pretty roomy. It's very, very soft back there, but if you're a really tall person, you might have a little bit of an issue. It has two rear vents, but they're not power controlled, so you have to control that from the front. It's combined with the blower motor in the front. So if you're looking for this to be kind of more upscale, individual controls for the back, it doesn't have that. In the front seats, they are very, very comfortable. There's a lot of give, and even without a ton of adjustment in the seats themselves, you can get comfortable, and you know they're a really high quality seat, almost like a Lexus. Now, the good thing about this interior is it's old school Toyota. Everything's physical. They haven't thrown away the physicality of things like the auto bright button or the fuel tank release button's physical. The dimmer's physical. The door handle's big and easy to pull at. The window switches. There's no guesswork, including the steering wheel. When you look at it, super simple to figure out everything by just looking at it. Same thing with the HVAC controls. Everything's physical. You almost never have to interact with the touchscreen or the infotainment to get your climate set the way you want it. And even storage. Great place to put your phone in the wireless charger. Easy to get in there. It doesn't fly around. The cup holders can double as a phone holder, glasses holder. There's a spot to put your key with the divider. The only negative part is it's slathered full of piano black, which is absolutely weird given the rest of the cabin doesn't have any of this. The storage in the doors is pretty exceptional. It's deceivingly big. Same thing with the armrest, but overall, this is a very, very well laid out cabin. Again, more tried and true of what Toyota used to do versus nailing you with the gimmicks. This is gonna be great for somebody that maybe wanted an older Lexus, like older school Lexus without all the tech. I think a lot of people are gonna be drawn to this for that. The negative part is, like many Toyotas right now, it's caught between two generations of tech. The gauge cluster itself is the old Japanese Toyota design, and it is not at all connected with the infotainment. So if you want to change your safety settings, you have to do it through here, which is unbelievably ridiculously complicated, and all the acronyms on the screen itself and going through the menus. 99% of people have no idea what's going on. They're not going to know what any of this stuff is. If I can't figure it out and I can't get some of these systems on or off the way that I like them, it's going to be a pain in the ass for you. So you're going to have to play with this and see if you can deal with it. The infotainment is first generation Toyota connected. It's as expected. It's very simple by design. It's supposed to be clutterless and very basically simple to get into with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and that's where you're going to live. But let's go in the shop. Jack's going to briefly talk about what this car is and what it's not. People want a pure Japanese design, developed and manufactured Toyota. We got it right here, Jack.
What is this, Mark?
The Toyota Crown something.
Signia.
The Signia, okay. It's their hatchback or wagon form factor.
It's a long boy.
But just in case you're phobic of the latest technology, that's not this. They've given you one generation behind of everything, Jack, so tell me.
Yeah, this is on TNGA-K, and this is using the prior generation Toyota hybrid system, which means you still get the MG1 and MG2 and the gas 4-cylinder, and you get, for the E all-wheel drive, electric motor in the back. It has a nickel metal hydride battery, total system out is 240 horsepower, and it gets just under 40 miles per gallon combined, and it will tow up to 2,700 pounds. The power split, when you're regularly driving around, it's 100% front, 0% rear, and then under select all-terrain or bad weather conditions, it can go up to 2080.
So if you can't make up your mind and you want a total in-between car for just as much money as a Lexus, you get that here. And they have done some quality.
This costs as much as an ES.
Yeah, it's an expensive product. There are some things they've done, like acoustic laminated glass in the front and the back. There's more sound insulation underneath, more premium touches, but it's still at its core TNGA-K, which is shared with Camry, RAV4, basically everything else, strut front, multi-link back, no ABS or adaptive dampers, not electronically controlled dampers. So it's half and half, like tried and true Toyota stuff, last generation stuff at current generation prices. But I'm going to leave it at that, Jack. Let's take this thing on the road, and we're going to talk about the good and bad.
I can't wait.
Got your crown on?
I do, Mark. I feel like the king, the Burger King.
The Burger King, that's where we're going right now. I need an Impossible Whopper to handle this impossible horsepower and torque.
That feels like a very sprightly 240 mark.
Ooh, man, she's really bucking. Okay, nobody's driving this car like this. We just got done talking about the Lexus IS, the ancient car, and I had some problems with that because it was so old. Mm-hmm. And now we're coming back to something that's new, although it's not...
Kind of new.
It's new, but not new. First, I'm going to get your impressions of it. What's your overall sentiment?
Taking a step away from the price for a second, to be fair, they do discount this car by a couple grand at this point, at least looking at the dealership lots. This is exactly why people buy Toyotas. It gets almost 40 miles to the gallon, even in like 1,000-degree weather. Even with us driving it, you're getting 37.1. I was getting 38.6 earlier. It's quick enough. The safety stuff works well. Yes, it's not Lexus ES quiet, but it's still quieter than a Camry. And it's generally a nice place to be with all this physical controls, all the space in this vehicle. I think it looks unique being a wagon. There's a lot of pros, and dynamically, not that again anyone's driving this car that hard, yes, these Bridgestone tires are designed for low rolling resistance, but the understeer moments this car has are very easy to catch. It's just a very pleasant, easy car that you don't think about anything when you drive it, which is why someone wants this thing. It's best case MPC mobile.
Putting this in perspective, to your point, this is what Toyota does best. Mm-hmm. This to me is if you want an ES that no longer exists because now they techified the ES and made it like, I don't know what they did, but this to me is the tried and true like Toyota formula. The tech part is mostly in the background. The physical controls, everything that you interact with physically is great. The ride quality is perfect for a car like this.
With no adaptive dampers.
No adaptive dampers. It soaks up every pavement type. In the lower speed stuff, I'm talking 55 miles an hour and below, it feels like a Lexus. The seats have enough give. There's enough comfort in here. It's a great riding car. It's very quiet. It's a negative part is because of its price, it's not as quiet as a Lexus, even though it should be just as quiet.
It costs the same as much as an ES.
It makes no sense to me for the price point that they're literally stripping content out of this car, because after 55, this car has a massive amount of airborne noise. Mm-hmm. And even with this roof closed...
And the acoustic front glass.
It's even with the acoustic front and side glass, like there is a lot of airborne noise in this car.
You already hear it now.
Yeah, I mean, over 55 is where you really, really notice it. And I went between those two extremes. So if you're looking for Lexus levels of refinement, it kind of has it.
The pricing is what kills this car.
Yeah, that's really what it. And I know we talked to Toyota about this when it came out. We're like, why is this here given the Camry? Because the Camry got the latest gen.
And the other Crown.
Right, and the other Crown. It has the latest gen. The Camry has the latest gen hybrid system. This does not. It's a generation behind. It's got the last gen technology now.
Which this has.
Which, in what makes it worse, and this is my big thing with this, while it has a decent safety suite, the more I've driven this, and that's one of the fine print things when you drive something more, it has the first generation Toyota connected, and everything else in the gauge cluster is done in Toyota Japan. They are completely separated from each other. So I've driven this, and I've never been more frustrated about the iconography on the dash. What are all these safety things? How do I turn them off? I have to turn them off here. I can't turn them off here. So then I'm going through the gauge cluster. I don't know what does what and why it's doing it. Like when I got in this car, you just left it on because you couldn't figure out how to turn it off. It was auto braking itself when it got close to a car.
The predictive driving.
The predictive shit, right? So finally I turned that off. Then it's beeping about driver attention. That these systems now are like, it should be in the background and it's always in my face. And it's one of those things that you literally, if you change this stuff a lot based on highway and regular driving, you're gonna be frustrated as hell with this car. But it makes up for it in so many ways. Like you said, fuel economy, ride refinement, just the great ride quality over everything. I mean, I love this car. I think if this was a vehicle that was in the 40s, where it should be,
if this was like RAV4 pricing,
right,
like mid 40s, I would understand buying this car a lot more. I do think, if I'm being honest, as much as I don't like the CUV form factor, if it were my money, given sort of the premium features you get on this versus the premium features you get on like a RAV4 Limited, I'd rather be in a RAV4 Limited.
I think so. And the other argument's going to be, well, this is a pure Japanese car, right? Like it's made in Japan. Yeah. It's done by that product team. So it's got those benefits and probably some, maybe some reliability advantages. So I get that if you want it, but you're paying such a premium here over like a Camry. like I mean, it's not doing that much more.
Other than being a wagon.
Right, exactly. So I don't know, it's a confusing product, and this is a great case study on why Toyota has too many cars. And then this is like trying not to be a Toyota, but it is, like, to expand this brand out, where this would be much better money spent to expand out like the Camry or the Lexus lineup and bring some middle ground there. This is just kind of lost. And they're not selling a lot here because they don't want to import. I think they're going to only import like 15 to 20,000 of these a year, which is not a lot. So it's not like it's a big car to sell. So why even waste your time on it? Make the other products tighter and better.
I'm sure it's just them plugging a hole in the market based upon market research.
Yeah.
As a buyer, though, a lot of people want a car that's a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
And I think in the 2 years this has been out, I've seen 3 in public.
I know, you don't see them. It is unique, and there's a mix. Like, people love it because it's old school Toyota feeling, and then people hate it because it feels like you should be a 90-year-old woman driving it. You know, and I get both sides, but this is tremendous overall. You know, I'm picking it apart personally because there's some things that annoy me about it, but I think anybody that buys this that likes the packaging and likes all the stuff we talk about, you're going to love this. And probably
and you have to be okay spending luxury car money for not a luxury car.
Yeah, that's a huge argument against it for sure.
So like a Genesis G70, a G80 slightly used, the new ES, all of these cars are the same or even less money than this.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Mark, so with that, goodbye.
Final thoughts on the Toyota Crown Signia. This is a love letter to the Toyota connoisseur. Its tried and true drivetrain is going to last forever. It's got a high residual value. It's going to be on the road for a long time with minimal maintenance costs. Everything's physical on the interior, mostly. All the controls are physical, the door handles, the things that you want. It's quiet. It has an amazing ride refinement, almost Lexus-like on the road if you're staying below 55 miles an hour. There's very little to complain about until you get to the price point and what this thing actually is and some of the deficiencies. Because they had to rush this to market, it meant that it has the last generation hybrid system, something that now they're rolling out in the new Camrys, the RAV4s. So it's a new car already outdated. It also has a split tech implementation on the inside. The gauge cluster does not talk to the infotainment, so all the safety stuff is on one side and not on the other. And it's frustrating, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think this is a perfect example when you're stretching out your engineering resources and trying to have too many models that step on each other. We're starting to see more and more Toyotas where they're kind of not all sorted out. But if you don't care about any of that, I think you're going to walk away with this thing really happy if you can turn your brain off to some of the technical philosophy behind the car world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.